Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Manachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajaka Jajja Ashtottara Sati Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Grantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to Samal devotees, all glories to Samal devotees, all glories to Samal devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayesha Baddeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. This morning we're reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, Text 7. I'm sorry, Text 6.
Okay, आज हम श्रीमद्-भागवतम का पहला पंचम स्कंद अध्याय 1 और श्लोक संख्या 6 पढ़ेंगे.
You can do word for word.
Yes.
And purport translation.
शब्दार्थ. यही क्योंकि 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 बाबः निसंदेह राजन हे राजन सह वह राजपुत्रः राजकुमार प्रियव्रतः महाराज प्रियव्रत परम महान भागवतः भक्त नारदस्य श्री नारद मुनि के चरण कमल की उपसेवया सेवा से अंजसा शीघ्र अवगत परिचित हो गया परमार्थ दिव्य विषय सतत्व समस्त ज्ञेय तथ्यों सहित ब्रह्म सत्रेण ब्रह्म की निरंतर चर्चा से दीक्षिष्यमाणः पूर्ण समर्पण की अभिलाषा से अवनीतला भूतल पर परिपालनाय राज्य करने के लिए आत्माता आमनात शास्त्रों में निर्दिष्ट प्रबल सर्वोच्च गुणों के गण समूह से एकांत विचलित हुए बिना अविचल भाजनतया पात्रता के कारण स्वपित्रा अपने पिता के द्वारा उपामंत्रितः आज्ञा दिए जाने पर भगवती श्री भगवान में वासुदेवे सर्वव्यापी ईश्वर में एव निश्चय ही अध्यवधान बिना विराम के समाधि योगेन मग्न होकर योग साधना से समावेशिता अत्यंत समर्पित सकल समस्त कारक इंद्रियां क्रियाकलाप जिनके समस्त कार्य नहीं एव इस प्रकार अभिनंदित यद्यपि तात वह अप्रत्यात्मानाभ्यम किसी प्रकार उल्लंघन न करने योग्य तत् अधिकरणे उस पद को ग्रहण करने में आत्मनः अपने आप को अन्य कार्यों से असतः भौतिक अपि निश्चय ही पराभवम ह्रास अन्वीक्षमाणः दूरदर्शिता से अनुवाद। श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी ने आगे कहा, हे राजन, राजकुमार प्रिय भक्त महान भक्त थे, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपने गुरु श्री नारद मुनि के चरण कमलों को प्राप्त कर दिव्य ज्ञान में उच्चतम सिद्धि प्राप्त की थी। उन्नत ज्ञान के कारण वे सदैव आध्यात्मिक विषयों की चर्चा में संलग्न रहे और उन्होंने अपना ध्यान किसी दूसरे ओर नहीं मोड़ा। इसके पश्चात राजकुमार के पिता ने आदेश दिया कि वे संसार पर राज्य करने के भार ग्रहण करें। उन्होंने राजकुमार प्रियव्रत को आश्वस्त करना चाहा। ये प्रामाणिक शास्त्र के अनुसार यह उनका कर्तव्य था। किंतु राजकुमार प्रियव्रत ने तो निरंतर भक्ति योग की साधना में रत रहकर पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान का स्मरण करते हुए समस्त इंद्रियों को ईश्वर की सेवा में अर्पित कर रखा था। अतः पिता की आज्ञा उल्लंघन करने योग्य न होने पर भी राजकुमार ने उसका स्वागत नहीं किया। इस प्रकार उन्होंने अपने अंतःकरण में यह प्रश्न किया कि संसार पर राज्य करने के उत्तरदायित्व को स्वीकार करके कहीं वे अपनी भक्ति से परांगमुख तो नहीं हो जाएंगे। तात्पर्य। श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर ने गाया है, छाड़िया वैष्णव सेवा निस्तार पाए छे केवा। विशुद्ध वैष्णव या गुरु के चरण कमलों की सेवा किए बिना किसी ने कभी भी भौतिक बंधन से पूर्ण मुक्ति प्राप्त नहीं की है। राजकुमार प्रियव्रत श्री नारद मुनि के चरण कमलों की नियमित सेवा करते थे और इस प्रकार उन्होंने दिव्य तत्वों का यथार्थ ज्ञान सतत्वतः हो गया था। सतत्वतः शब्द का अर्थ यह है कि राजकुमार प्रियव्रत को आत्मा एवं पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान के पारस्परिक संबंध का ज्ञान था। वे इस भौतिक जगत के विषय में तथा ईश्वर से इसके संबंध के विषय में भी सब कुछ जानते थे। अतः राजकुमार ने केवल ईश्वर की भक्ति में अपने आप को लगाए रखने का निश्चय किया। जब राजकुमार प्रियव्रत के पिता स्वयंभव मनु ने उनसे संसार पर राज्य करने के दायित्व को स्वीकार करने के लिए प्रार्थना की तो उन्होंने उनकी इस प्रस्ताव का स्वागत नहीं किया। ये महान मुक्त भक्त का लक्षण है। सांसारिक व्यापारों में लगे हुए होते भी वह उनमें रुचि नहीं दिखाता, वरन निरंतर श्री भगवान की सेवा में तल्लीन रहता है। इस प्रकार ईश्वर की सेवा करते हुए भी वह सांसारिक व्यापारों को उनसे प्रभावित हुए बिना ऊपर से करता रहता है। उदाहरण अर्थ, अपने बच्चों के प्रति आकर्षण न होते हुए भी वह उनकी देखभाल करता है और उन्हें भक्त बनने की शिक्षा देता है। इसी प्रकार वह अपनी पत्नी से प्रिय वचन बोलता है, किंतु वह उसमें आसक्त नहीं रहता। भक्त भक्ति में सेवा के द्वारा परमेश्वर के समस्त गुण ग्रहण कर लेता है। भगवान श्री कृष्ण की एक से एक परम सुंदरी 16,000 पत्नियां थी और यद्यपि वे प्रत्येक से प्रिय पति की भांति आचरण करते थे, वे किसी के प्रति आकृष्ट या आसक्त नहीं हुए। इसी प्रकार भक्त भले ही गृहस्थ जीवन में प्रवेश करके अपनी पत्नी तथा पुत्रों से अत्यंत प्यार जताता रहे, इन कार्यों में वह कभी आसक्त नहीं होता। यह श्लोक बताता है कि अपने गुरु के चरण कमलों की सेवा करने से राजकुमार प्रियव्रत को शीघ्र ही कृष्ण भक्ति की सिद्ध अवस्था प्राप्त होगी। आध्यात्मिक जीवन में अग्रसर होने की यही एकमात्र विधि है। जैसा कि वेदों में कहा गया है, यस्य देवे परा भक्ति यथा देवे तथा गुरु तस्येते कथिता ही अर्था प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः। यदि किसी को श्री भगवान तथा गुरु में अविचल श्रद्धा हो तो मनुष्य को वैदिक ज्ञान का सार प्राप्त हो जाता है। श्वेता चैतन्य उपनिषद 6.23। भक्त निरंतर ईश्वर का चिंतन करता रहता है। हरे कृष्ण मंत्र का कीर्तन करते हुए उसे कृष्ण तथा हरे शब्दों से तत्क्षण ही ईश्वर की समस्त लीलाओं का स्मरण हो आता है। क्योंकि भक्त का समग्र जीवन ईश्वर की भक्ति में समर्पित रहता है, अतः वह एक क्षण के लिए भी ईश्वर को नहीं भूल पाता। जिस प्रकार एक सामान्य पुरुष अपने मन को भौतिक गतिविधियों में लगाए रखता है, उसी प्रकार एक भक्त अपने मन को सदैव आध्यात्मिक कार्यों में लगाए रखता है। इसे ब्रह्म सत्र अर्थात अथवा सदैव श्री भगवान का चिंतन कहते हैं। श्री नारद मुनि ने राजकुमार प्रियव्रत को इस साधना में पूर्णतया दीक्षित कर दिया था। हरे कृष्ण।
नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चाच्य देशधारिणे हे गुरो ज्ञानदादीन बंधो स्वानंददात करुणैक सिंधो वृंदावनासीन हितावतार प्रसीद राधा पनय प्रचार नाम शिष्टम मनोमपि सचिपुत्रमत्र स्वरूपम रूपम तस्यागुजमुरपुरी मातुरीं गोष्ठभातिं राधाकुंडम गिरिवरम महोराधिकमानवासम प्रप्तो यस्य पतिता कृपया श्रीगुरुं तं नतोऽस्मि। वंदे नन्दाद्भुतश्रयं श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभुं निचोऽपि यत्प्रसादात् सद्भक्तिशस्त्रप्रवर्तकं नित्यानन्दमहं नौमि सर्वानन्दकरं परं हरिनामपदं देवं अवधूतशिरोमणिं। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. It said here, what makes Narada Muni a great devotee? Because he sought out the lotus feet. What makes Priyavrata a great devotee? Because he sought out the lotus feet of Narada. He sought out Guru. Sometimes we see people, they're self-made gurus, or they have no guru. The Shastra says, Sampradaya vihinaste mantraste nishpalamata. If you take mantra from a person who's not appearing in sampradaya, who doesn't have a guru, nishpalamata, there can be no fruit, no result from chanting such a mantra. Mantra represents Krishna himself. Gayatri mantra, 7 Gayatri mantras are Krishna himself, Kam Gayatri, Gopal Gayatri, Gaur Gayatri. These mantras represent the Lord himself. As Hare Krishna mantra is not different from Krishna, these mantras are also the sound representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So only a person can give you a person. You just don't pick it out of the air. You can get all these mantras, all these Gayatri mantras are printed in Prabhupada's books. But can you extract them from the book, write it on a piece of paper and start chanting? No. You have to receive mantra from Guru. So, mantraste nishpalamata. And what made Prachini Bharhi a great devotee? Because he has a Guru. Even if you want to learn auto mechanics, say, you can buy a set of wrenches and you can start taking apart cars. But is this the proper way to learn auto mechanics? Your car is going to blow up someday. You have to learn the science from another mechanic. Even a simple thing like an auto engine has to be learned from another mechanic. So what to speak of spiritual science has to be learned from Guru. And we sing in the morning, Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Where do we find Kevala Bhakti? Kevala Bhakti means unalloyed devotional service, pure devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti. Where is it to be found? Where does it live? Sadma? At the lotus feet of Shri Guru. And why do we say lotus feet? Lotus feet because his feet are not part of this world. His feet are in the spiritual world. As we read in Bhagavad-gita, Padma Patram Ivambasa. A lotus flower can be growing in the most filthy water, but it maintains its beauty, its pristine beauty, its fragrance, its value, even though it's in the midst of the most dirty water. So Padma Patram Ivambasa, Krishna says, be like a lotus flower, in the material world, but not of the material world. So Shri Guru Charana Padma, his charana, his feet, are like lotus flower because they're not part of this material world. And what do we find at his lotus feet? Where does Kevala Bhakti live? Where is its sadma, its abode? At the lotus feet of Guru. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sman Bandho Mui Savadhana Mate. So we offer our obeisances to such a person. We bow down to such a person. This is also instruction of Bhagavad-gita. Tadvidhi paranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. If you want to be tattva darshi, if you want to be self-realized, there is one way to do it. Self-realization isn't a do-it-yourself, like they make these different books, computers for dummies, this and that for dummies, different things for dummies. Is there such a thing as Guru for dummies, Krishna for dummies? Someone who wants to be tattva-darshi, a seer of the truth, has to approach a person who is tattva-darshi. You can't get Krishna from someone who's not tattva-darshi, who doesn't have Krishna. Therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite par, tomara shakati ache. Amito kanga, Krishna Krishna bole, daitava pache pache. That Krishna is yours, and you have the power to give him to me. Because Krishna is the property of his pure devotee. He is controlled by his pure devotee. This is the nature of Krishna. He's controlled by love. So pure devotee, because he has love, unadulterated Kevala Bhakti, unadulterated love, Krishna se tomar. Krishna's control. He's Parthasarati. He becomes a servant of his devotee. What to speak of? He becomes a servant of his devotee. So Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite, tomara shakati yache. You can give him, Krishna dite par, you can give him, you have the power to give him because you have Krishna. You can't give someone a mango if you don't have a mango. Ask, Prabhu, can you give me a mango? Give me one. You have to go get mango. We have to get Krishna from someone who has Krishna. So, what is devotee doing? Amito Kanga. Amito, he's saying, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Amito Kanga. I'm a beggar, fallen person, useless person, Kanga. And what am I doing therefore? I'm simply running after you, chanting Krishna, 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 begging for Krishna. Srila Banshidas Babaji Maharaj was approached. Another Guru Padma, his lotus feet are not, he's here but he's not here. One time, there's a nice story in relation to him. One time, some children were teasing him because he's avadut, beard like this, big hair, wearing only kopin. So some children were throwing stones at him and harassing him. What was his reaction? To throw stones back, to shout at him, to call the police? He said, Krishna, if you don't stop this, I'm going to tell your mother. You understand? He's saying Krishna is the supreme controller of every activity of the world, and Krishna is behind this. So Krishna, if you don't stop this, I will tell your mother. He was absorbed in Vatsalya Prema. So Krishna say Tamar, Krishna dite par Tomar Shakati. Amito Kanga, Krishna Krishna bole, Daitava Pache Pache. I'm simply running after you chanting Krishna Krishna Krishna. So Shri Guru Charana, Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Bandhan Mui Savadhan. We offer our obeisances and with very carefully, Savadhan. Guru is our best friend. You can't walk up to him and put your arm around him, pat him on the stomach. Hey, how's it going, man? Like, we'd play with each other out of friendship. Can you do that? Savadhan. Approach with Gauravena and Suradena. Bhagavatam says, Gauravena means with all due respect. But Suradena means he's your best friend. Why is he best friend? Because he's pulling you out of the material world. We leave the material world by the grace of Shri Guru. So Bhagavatam says both things, Gauravena and Suridena. So Savdhan, be careful. Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chitete Korya Aikya Arna Koryo Manayasha. That the words Narottam Das Thakur is praying, let my mind become one with the words emanating from the lotus mouth of my spiritual master. In other words, not to have any contrary feeling about the instructions of Guru. And this is very significant for us because there's hundreds of thousands of ISKCON devotees. How do we contact Prabhupada? We all want to spend time with Prabhupada. So if Prabhupada came here, if there was an announcement, tomorrow morning, Srila Prabhupada is giving Bhagavatam class. How many people would come? They'd come from Antarctica. They'd come from Africa, from China, from Australia. Prabhupada's giving Bhagavatam class. But these words that we're reading are not different from Prabhupada. Guru Mukha Padmavakya. He didn't write his books with pen and paper. Rather, he spoke them, and those words were transcribed. So when we read Prabhupada's purport, which he called his personal ecstasies, we associate with Srila Prabhupada directly. These are his words. So Narottam Das Thakur is praying, let my mind become one with these instructions, not have any contrary feeling towards the instructions coming from the lotus mouth of the spiritual master. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhava. And this is the process. We read Prabhupada quotes the verse here. Yasya devi para bhaktir tata devi tata guru tasyaiti katita yarta prakashante mahatmana. If one has absolute faith in the instructions of Guru and of the Lord, prakashante, all the purports of Vedas is revealed to that person. Prakashante, to who? Mahatmana. That great soul who has absolute faith, instructions of Guru and the Supreme Lord. So Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chitete Koriya, I can let my chitta, my consciousness, be purified by the words emanating from the lotus mouth of my spiritual master. Arna Koriya Mani, let me not have any other motivation but to hear this instruction. To spend time, for us what does it mean? To spend time with Srila Prabhupada. We should spend time every day with Srila Prabhupada, which means open the books. He said, I've sacrificed so much to give you these books, and if you're not reading them, what is that grateful? Is that gratitude? Srila Prabhupada would sleep 2-3 hours at night and get up and translate his books. Because Krishna directly requested Prabhupada, you leave Goloka and you come to the material world. This story was told by Gita Sharaf to my esteemed god sister Devi Shakti Mataji. Gita Sharaf is the very special devotee who donated the land upon which our Krishna Balaram temple is sitting. And she had a conversation with Srila Prabhupada where Srila Prabhupada told her that Krishna asked me to leave the Goloka and come to the material world. And Prabhupada said, no, I don't want to go there. But Krishna said, I want you to distribute this knowledge, translate Srimad-Bhagavatam, and deliver it to the people of this material world, earth planet. I will give you all support. Prabhupada said, okay. So these words coming from the lotus mouth of Srila Prabhupada are Srila Prabhupada. He invested all his power, his mercy, his presence into his words. So when we open Prabhupada's books, we're as good as sitting in the same room and hearing directly Guru Mukha Padmavakya. So Chakudhan Diloje Janmi Janmi Prabhu say. We say, that person who has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge, he is my Lord, birth after birth. Janme Janme, Prabhu say. This is a very important thing to understand. Because we say, Oma Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalaki. We're born into ignorance. A crying little baby in our mother's arms, what do we know? Are we born self-realized? Our mothers have to teach us food goes here, not here, not here. Mother is first guru. How to dress, how to clean yourself, how to use the bathroom, what is safe, what is not safe, what is good, what is bad, what you can eat, what you can't eat. Because babies put everything in their mouth, right? Mother is first guru. that person who opens our eyes with the torchlight, who removes that darkness, is our Guru, birth, Janme Janme Prabhu. He's our Prabhu, our Master, Lord, birth after birth. What does that mean? This means that, because someone would say, well, if I become pure devotee, what is the question? Janme Janme, birth after birth. Because a devotee who achieves perfection in this lifetime returns to the spiritual world, and he continues to receive instruction from his Guru. In his spiritual body, in your spiritual body, we continue to receive instruction. Because no one approaches Krishna directly. Krishna is approached through other devotees. We receive instruction, the person receives instruction from gopis, from gopas, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaja's entourage, how to serve Krishna. So this goes on as we receive instruction here. The same principle goes on there. Janme Janme Prabhu se. Chakku dhan dilo jay Janme Janme Prabhu se. Dibya Gyan Vide Prakashito. That we get Dibya Gyan from within our heart. And this is the process of initiation. Initiation means two things. We call it Diksha. Di means Dibya Gyan. We understand not just book knowledge, but Dibya Gyan Prakash. It's manifest in our heart. We understand it from within our heart. We get realization, spurti. Atakshi Krishna Namadi, Nabhavit Grayam Indriyai, Sevan Mukhi Hijebodo, Swayam Eva, Spuratyada. Spurti means we experience it. Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha Bhagamam Dhamyam, Susukam Kartamabhyayam. We get that Dibya Gyan from Shri Guru. Di means Dibya Gyan. Sha means Shapeti. It destroys, Diksha destroys all previous sinful activities. So Diksha means these two things. So you get Dibya Gyan, and it destroys all previous sinful activities. So Dibya Gyan, Hriday, within our heart, it's manifest. Manifest, and you can't get that anywhere else but from Guru. Can you dial into Amazon.in? I want Dibya Gyan. Can you go to the bazaar? Can you pick it off a tree? We get this from Guru, who has Dibya Gyan. Again, you can't get something from someone if they don't have it. So Dibya Gyan Prakash, Prakashito. What's the next line? Shri Guru, I missed one. Guru, Shri Guru Charane Rate Se Uttama Gati. What is devotee's highest aspiration? To have rati, love for spiritual master. It's not like he's a thing. We hear people talking, I have a guru. It's like I have a car, I have a wife, I have a scooter, I have a washing machine, I have a guru. One should have love for Guru, because the whole atmosphere of Goloka is surcharged with love for other devotees, laughing, joking, playing, loving relationships. As we experience here to some degree, we experience there eternally. So we should have Shri Guru Charane Rati, love, Rati, for lotus feet of spiritual master. And this is Uttama Gati, topmost aspiration for disciple. So Chakudan Dilo Jai Janme Janme Prabhu Se Dibya Gyan Vide Prakashito. What comes next? Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasa Jati. Prema Bhakti. Guru is full of love for God. Where do we get prema? Where is it coming from? Same thing. Can you pick it off a tree? Give me 1 kilo of prema. This is emanating from Guru. And how is that manifest? This is an important thing to understand. It's manifest by his activity. Sometimes we hear of this Prem Baba or that Prem Baba. It's a name for them. What is their manifestation of Prem? What they're doing for society. What are they doing for society? Now, I don't know if we want to get into this discussion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in esoteric and exoteric reason for appearing in this world. Esoteric reason means Shri Radhaya Mahima Kiddisho Vanayaiva Swajoyin Adbhuta Madhurima Kiddisho Vamadeya Sokyam Chasyam Anunubhavata Kiddisham Veti Lobat Tadbhava Jas Samajani Sachi Garba Sindhu Harindu. Sugar can't taste itself. So Krishna can't understand what is it about me that has such a profound effect on Srimati Radharani. And what is her experience of my love, and what is the character of my love for Srimati Radha. To taste that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this world, Radha Bhav. To taste the bhava, to understand the bhava of Srimati Radharani. This is the esoteric reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming to this world. Exoteric reason, the common reason that is broadcast everywhere, is Nam Sankirtan, opening temples, distributing books, distributing prasadam, preaching, making devotees, increasing the family numbers, Goshtyananda. Now there's a class of person that says, now the real mission of Lord Chaitanya is going to be broadcast. My response to this person is, where have you been for 50 years? Because how do we taste the esoteric reason of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance? By practicing the exoteric reason, by preaching Krishna consciousness, by doing something for society. Out of love, out of prema, feeling for one's fellow human being, to give them the highest thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Krishna prema pradayate. But what does that mean? To sit in seclusion in a sacred place chanting 1 lakh of japa? Is this the highest manifestation of love? Of prema? Naivo duje paradaratya vaitaranyas tadbirya gayana mahabmanda magna chitta socheta to vimukha chetasi indriyarta maya sukhaya varamudvahato vimudhan. Prahlad Maharaj, our Acharya, he said, I'm liberated. At the end of my life, I'm going back to God. I have no problem. But I have one big problem, one big lamentation, and that is to see these fools and rascals carrying maya sukhayam varamudvahato, carrying the heavy weight of material life and suffering birth after birth after birth. This is my lamentation. So a devotee who has prema bhakti jaha hoite, who has prema, love for God, also has love for his fellow human being. He wants to do something to uplift them. And by this activity of expanding the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, we can't separate esoteric and exoteric. Is one more or one less? They are not. But there's a class of persons, no, this is the real mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Baba. Are you qualified to touch it? Are you qualified to even understand it? One time, one person, friend of mine, a sannyasi friend, not an ISKCON devotee, he said, we're having a program at our house, Ram Navami program. So I said, okay, he's my friend. We went. So there was also one young man traveling around Europe, traveling around India, not a devotee. He may not even be vegetarian, but this sannyasi was preaching to him Radha Bhav, Madanakya Mahabhav, Modanakya Mahabhav, Srimati Radharani's inconceivable manifestation of transcendental Vipralamba Bhav. To who? This guy who just happens to be in his program. Is this how we preach Krishna consciousness? How can you talk about something you don't understand yourself? So prema bhakti jaha hoiti, what does it mean that prema is emanating from Sri Guru? That he's doing something for society. He's taken responsibility for enlightening society. He's not a self-interested person. Next verse says, Prayena deva moneya svavimukti kama maunam charanti vijanai na pararta nishta. He has no other interest. Prahlad Maharaj is saying there's many saintly people, but what do? They go to some cave, to some secluded place, some bhajan kutir, and just chant. Na pararta nishta. They have no feeling for the welfare of human society. So how do we taste Radha Baba? The highest aspiration in Gaudiya Vaishnavism is Radha Dasyam. We pray Radhe Vrindavanadishe Karunamrita Vahini Kripaya Nijapadabja Dasyam Majam Pradiyatam. We pray to become servant of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, our highest objective. But how do you get that? By serving the mission of Gaura. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says, Yatha yatha Gaura padara vinde vendeta bhaktim krita punya rasi tatato tut sarpati vidya kasman radha padam boja sudambu rasi. You want to taste Radha Dasyam? Then serve the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the only way you can taste the esoteric mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Enter into that understanding by serving the exoteric mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by expanding the Hare Krishna movement. So Prema Bhakti, how is Prema Bhakti coming? By expanding the mission, by distributing Prema, by distributing the opportunity to taste Krishna Prema. This is how it happens. Sometimes we also hear unfortunate persons who never understood Guru Parampara say, all your ISKCON gurus are all neophytes. How dare they? How dare they say that? They quote, Nikunja yuno ratikili siddhai yayalivir yuktir apekshaniya tatati dakshadati valabhasya vande guru Sri Chaitanya-Charitamrta. That Sri Guru is making tasteful arrangements for the service and pleasure of Radha Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. They say, your ISKCON gurus aren't doing that. They say, okay, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he's doing it. But there's no one assisting him. This is parampara. Prabhupada serving Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who's serving Gaur Kishore, who's serving Bhakti Vinod. This is coming in parampara. No one approaches Krishna directly. And Prabhupada didn't produce any disciple that can assist him in serving Radha Krishna in Nikunja Seva. These people simply do not understand the principle of Guru Parampara. So Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasa Jati. And he destroys our ignorance. We're born in ignorance. And we're still ignorant to some degree. Because we ask you, who are you? Say, well, I'm a spirit soul. Okay, devotee will always say, I'm a spirit soul. But who are you in Krishna Leela? We have an identity in Krishna Leela. And that avidya that makes us identify with this world, vinasha jate, is destroyed by Guru, by His mercy, by His grace. So how do we get Krishna? How do we get service in the spiritual world? Only through Guru. Prema Bhakti Jaha Avidya Vinasa Vede Gai Jahara Charita. And the Vedas are singing the glories of such a Guru. Bhagavatam says, it talks about the Devatas, about how they're living in Swarga, having a very nice life of sense gratification, long duration of life, no disease, no bodily problems, just sense gratification. But they're always fearful. They're wondering, Indra is fearful, who is going to come and steal my Indra asana? Who is going to steal Ramba and all the Urvasi and all the Apsaras? They're always in fear. Next verse says, Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shaya Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnatam Brahmanya Upushama Shrayam. Tasmat means therefore. What is the solution to the fear, the problems of this world? Jigyasu Shaya Uttamam. You want the highest benefit of life? Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta. You surrender to achieve the highest Shreya Uttamam, the highest objective of life. What is required? You surrender to Guru. Conditioned soul doesn't like that word, surrender. What? I have to surrender? I mean, I can't do what I want? No, you can't do what you want. You have to surrender. Tadvidhi pranipat. Pranipat means prakrishna rupena nipat, complete surrender. Tadvidhi pranipatina pariprashnena seva upadikshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshana. You want to be tattvadarshi? There are three qualifications. Nipat, prakrishna rupena nipat, complete surrender. Pariprashna, you have to inquire. How am I here? What happened to me? How did I get this material body? What am I doing in the material world? Who is God? How do I get back to God? How do I rectify my relationship with the Supreme Lord? One should ask, relative questions, important, not challenging. What do you know? Sometimes people would challenge Prabhupada. One lady reporter challenged Prabhupada. Two stories I'll tell you. He was giving, at the airport he was giving darshan. The reporters were there. And one lady was being very testy, trying to challenge Prabhupada. Why do you shave your head? Prabhupada said, why do you shave your legs? Better to have a cool head and warm legs. Another time they organized a live radio interview with Srila Prabhupada. And the radio host was known to be a very nasty person. And he'd invite people on in a very friendly way, and then when they're on the radio live, he'd insult them. So devotee said, Prabhupada, don't do this. Prabhupada said, how many people listen? He said, well, maybe 2 million. I'm going. So before the radio show, the host was in a friendly mood talking to Prabhupada. And then when he got him on live broadcast, he said to him, you Hare Krishna people believe that the world is flat? Because they had some discussion, Vedic construction of the universe. You believe the whole world is flat? Prabhupada says, it is wherever I walk. What can the man say? So, I got off track. My brain has become feeble in my old age. That I'm forgetting. Anyone can help me? I forgot. Pardon? Pranipat. We have to surrender. No, pranipat and pariprashna. We should not challenge, rather we should ask in a submissive mood, in a mood of wanting to know, not challenge and insult the Guru. And seva. One should ask questions, and if one is taking the answers, if one is taking knowledge from Guru, it's not free. Can you walk into a grocery store, fill up your basket, and just whack out the door? They'll arrest you. It's not free. Knowledge we receive, blessing we receive from Guru is not free. One should give seva. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, by this combination of pariprashna, pranipat, and seva, by this reciprocation, the disciple gets perfect knowledge, and he also becomes tattvadarshi. So which verse we were on? I should have brought a book. We did Chakudandilajay, Guru Mukha Padma. Prema Bhakti Jaha bin Abhinda Vinasha Jai, Vedagai Jahara Charito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu, Adhama Janara Bandhu. Who can be more merciful than Guru? Even great personality like Prachinabhari, even Narada himself. His guru is Lord Brahma. Everyone has a guru. They say, someone who thinks that their own guru is a fool for a disciple. You understand? Someone who thinks, I am my own guru. I am my own guru. It means you have a fool for a disciple. You understand? Your own guru, that means you're also your own disciple, but you're a fool. So I had this discussion with one Nepali Brahmin friend. He was telling me, Krishna is my guru. I don't need a guru. Krishna is my guru. He says, right here, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, I can pick up Bhagavad-gita, I can get instructions directly from Krishna. He said, that's very nice. What does your guru, if Krishna is your guru, what does your guru say? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena. Your guru says to approach my representative. So someone who's a bona fide guru, what is the qualification of bona fide guru? Tasmad gurum prabhadit jigyasu shreya uttamam shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanya upashama shreyam. That shabde, he's heard from his guru. Shabde pare, heard what? Veda, Nishnatam, and he's not attached to this material world. He's Brahman realized. And that's another thing. Where does spiritual life begin? Begins with Brahmabhuta. Brahmabhuta prasanatma suchati nakamshati samasaveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. Where is the taking off point for bhakti? Where does bhakti begin? Brahmabhuta. That's a high thing also. Nasochati nakamshati. You have no material desire. You're not concerned about any type of loss. You have no burning material desire to fulfill. Samasaveshu bhuteshu. You're equal to everyone, no friends, no enemies. You love the world loves you. Prasanatma, you're a happy soul. You're always happy, never disturbed, nothing bothers you. This is the taking off point, the beginning point. Mad bhaktim, Krishna says, my bhakti, labate param. My param bhakti begins with this. If I want to fly from Delhi to Calcutta, what do I have to do? I have to go to the airport. To fly, you have to go. So to achieve Krishna Bhakti, what do we have to do? At least come to this. It begins at this stage. Understanding and living on the Brahmabhuta platform, that I'm not my body. I don't belong to this world, and I have no attraction for this world. I have no identification with my body. This is Brahmabhuta stage. So it begins there. Not, and again, people high talk, Radha Bhav, Gopi Bhav, Manjari Bhav, Madanakya Mahabhav, Modanakya Mahabhav. They talk high talk, but you examine their life. Maybe they follow 3 rules, 3.5. They chant japa sometimes. But are they Brahman realized? No, they're not. So which verse we're on? Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu. He's a friend of Adhama, fallen persons. What was our situation before we came to Krishna Bhakti? Adhama. And who can be your best friend? Who doesn't judge you, who picks you up out of the material world and gives you the highest thing. And this is Prabhupada through and through. No one could have done what Prabhupada did. None of his godbrothers could have done what Prabhupada did. To stand in line to use the bathroom. At 26th Avenue, there's one bathroom in Prabhupada's apartment. There's no bathroom in the storefront. So all the devotees were living in the storefront, and they'd troop up to Prabhupada's bathroom to use the bathroom. And Prabhupada would stand in line to use his own bathroom. This is Adama Janara Bandhu, who has, even for persons of doubtful heritage, of doubtful qualification, he's standing in line behind them. When Prabhupada came, staying with Gopal and Sally Agarwal, he's keeping his vegetables in the same refrigerator with beef, gai kamas, cat food, hamburger. And they perceived that maybe that was a problem. Prabhupada said, it's okay, no matter. He got off the boat, Jaladuta, and said, I didn't know whether to turn left or turn right. When our devotees go traveling, flying to some distant country, they're picked up, given garland, chandan, accommodation, hot prasadam, programs, everything lined up. Prabhupada did nothing. He said, I didn't know whether to turn left or turn right. Some people say, you need to meditate on your Manjari Guru, high-class Rasik Vaishnava. You want to know who is high-class Rasik Vaishnava? A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. There is no higher Rasik Vaishnava that the world has ever seen more than Srila Prabhupada. Because what does a Rasik Vaishnava do? He stands in the snow in his little white rubber slippers, his sannyas langi, his chadar, his Prabhupada hat, wondering, why have you brought me to this horrible place? My dear Lord, you must have some mission. Why have you brought me here to this horrible place? And struggling with not even any food to eat, selling a Bhagavatam here and there. And you read, there's a book called Jaladuta Diaries, Prabhupada's experience in Jaladut and his experience in New York City. There's a diary, he logged every single expense. 15 cents for sugar, 20 cents for salt, 5 cents bananas. He's like hand-to-mouth existence. Nobody could have done what Prabhupada did. Now there's other people, they preach around the world, that's all good. But Prabhupada slashed through the jungle of Kali Yuga to build Gaudiya Vaishnavism, to build temples. Think for a moment, would you be sitting here if Prabhupada had never gotten out Jaladuta? Would you be wearing tilak? Would you be wearing kantimala? Would you have a guru? Where would you be? Literally, where would you be if Srila Prabhupada never got off Jaladuta? Put his life on the line and practically lost his life coming across Atlantic Ocean. No one could do what Srila Prabhupada did. And this is why some of his godbrothers acknowledge Prabhupada as Avesh of Nityananda, Shakti Avesh, Avatar, who embodied the mercy, the power, the Shakti of Lord Nityananda. Krishna Shakti Binanahitar Pravartana. How does someone preach Krishna consciousness? How do they achieve the impossible? By mercy of Lord Nityananda. This is Prabhupada. So Adama Janara Bandhu, who's a friend, the most fallen people, Prabhupada gave the highest conception, the irreducible conception of Krishna consciousness, the irreducible conception of God, Radha Krishna, to the lowest class people. And inconceivable. We were boys, 20-something-year-old boys. I was 20 years old when I moved in the temple. And Jayananda Prabhu was a grand old man. He was 32 or 35. We were just boys. And with that, Prabhupada made a movement and spread it all over the world. Impossible. We have a godbrother, his name is Shivananda Prabhu. Shivananda Prabhu is a very pure-hearted devotee. Simple devotee. He's not a big preacher, not a kirtan leader. Materially not very capable. But Prabhupada asked for volunteers and to go to Europe. So Shivananda said, I will go. And he was the first devotee before Mukunda, Shyamasundar and Gurudas and their wives. Before they went to London, Shivananda Prabhu was in Hamburg, Germany, opening the first temple in Europe. Why? And how was he successful? Because the whole power of the Guru Parampara was behind him. Simple devotee. But he was successful because he accepted the instructions of his spiritual master. I need someone to do this. He said, I'll go. So this is an important thing to understand. When we step forward to try and push on Krishna consciousness, the power of the whole parampara is behind us, if we want it to be. So Prabhupada was Adama Janara Bandhu. So ha Prabhu Koro Doya Deha Mora Padachaya. Ebe Jas Gushuk Tribhuvanam. That we pray for mercy. That give me shade. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Because there's no other way to get Krishna. How did Narada Muni become Narada Muni? Is by serving Vaishnavas. By accepting the remnants of their prasadam, by serving them during Chaturmasya. He became Narada Muni. So Prabhupada is not less than Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, the 6 Goswamis, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur. But what is the difference? We have this huge volume of information. Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's letters, Prabhupada's photographs. There's an archive of 20,000 photographs of Srila Prabhupada. Do we have one photograph of Rupa Goswami? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? Narottam Das Thakur? Shyamananda? No photo, no record. We have their books, but we have such exhaustive information about Srila Prabhupada. So ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha Mori Padachaya. Ebe Jas Kushuk Tribhuvana. That we want to glorify Prabhupada all over the three worlds for the accomplishment, for what he did. Why are there African devotees? Why are there Chinese devotees? Why are there American devotees? Why does anyone outside of India know anything about Krishna? Because of Prabhupada. If he hadn't got enough Jaladuta, would there be Gurukulas? Would there be restaurants, Govinda's restaurants? Would there be hundreds of temples? Would millions of people, 260 million people, ever have received Prabhupada's book? Would millions and millions of people ever receive Krishna Prasadam? Some people would have starved without the Prasadam distribution of our temples. Would there be art? Would there be dance? Would there be drama? Would a Google search for Krishna turn up anything except some encyclopedic reference to an avatar of Lord Vishnu? Prabhupada changed the world. He gave shelter to the world. So our business is to ebejas gushukti bhavana, to glorify Prabhupada, and this will give us qualification to make progress in spiritual life, because there's no other way. We can't get Krishna immediately, independently of our relationship with our spiritual master. That means Prabhupada and Prabhupada's representatives also. Guru is one. The two conceptions of Guru, Vyasti Guru and Samasti Guru. Vyasti Guru means your own Guru, and Samasti Guru means all Gurus. How Guru is one. Prabhupada, all the ISKCON Acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta, Gaur Kishore, Vishwanath, Narottam, they're all one because they're presenting the same thing. Samasti Guru. Vyasti Guru means your Guru. So everyone has a father. Everyone in this room has a father. But we have love for our father. But Guru is one. So we want to glorify this personality, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Founder means he who established it, but not just founder Acharya. He's also Acharya. As long as there's an ISKCON, there's Acharya. And that's important consideration also. In carpentry, if you want to make 20 equal pieces of wood that are equal in size, if you take the first piece and cut the second piece, and with the second piece cut the third piece cut the fourth, fifth, seventh, by the time you get to the 20th piece, it's a different size. You have to take the first piece and measure all the different pieces to get 20 pieces equal size. So Prabhupada is our benchmark. He is the standard. What he gave us, what he taught in his books, what he taught by his example. This is the power of ISKCON. Because he said, why was I successful? Because I didn't change anything. I just presented Bhagavad-gita as it is. I presented the teachings of my spiritual master as they are. So what does that mean for us? We have to do the same thing. Examine the life and service of your Guru. I think most of you are initiated by Pujapad Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Look at what he's doing. What did Prabhupada do? He opened temples, he printed and distributed books, and initiated devotees to assist him. What is his Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Pujapad Gopal Krishna Maharaj? What is he doing? Same thing. So what should you do? Same thing. Same thing. And you may think, oh, I'm just a bhakta, I'm a new devotee, what power do... Everyone was a bhakta at one point, everyone was a new devotee at one point, but if you pick up the flow of mercy and power coming through Guru Parampara, you can do anything. By the grace of Guru Parampara, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because frankly speaking, no one has done what this devotee has done, Pujapad Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Even in ISKCON, no one's done what he's done. Distributed so many books and all that. I was in Mumbai one time. Sunday feast, they had a book table. Big long book table like this. And look at this book table in Bhagavad-gita. Here's Bhagavad-gita in Telugu, Tamil, Gujarati, Sindhi, Hindi, English, all languages of India. I think, who did this? Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So book distribution, opening temples. Just in Delhi area, I think there's 16 big temples now. Big temples. And the one coming up on Jamunanagar, Kurukshetra, nobody's done what he's done. Because this is what Prabhupada did, and the whole power of the parampara comes to anyone who wants to take that responsibility. So take note, because one day, just as you're showing respect and appreciation for, Prabhupada disciple, Prabhupada disciple. Okay, well and good. We're all Prabhupada disciples from one point of view. But the day will come when they'll look at you. He's a direct disciple of Pujapad, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and he's visiting our temple. Is this not the future? When there's a couple of generations between you and your guru and the current acharyas? Because that day will come when they'll look at you. He's a direct disciple, she's a direct disciple of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and she's visiting our temple. Because in this, there'll be hundreds of people here Sunday feast. How many disciples of Prabhupada will be there? One. One. That will also come to you. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for disciples, Prabhuji? Sannyas. Who's going to do it? We're all gone in a few years. Who will do it? You ready for disciples, Prabhuji? How about you? Sadbhuj Prakash? Sannyas? They'll be glorifying you. His Divine Grace, Sadbhuj Prakash Maharaj. Jai Guru Dev, Jai Guru Dev. Please bless me, bless me. We think it's funny, but it may come to that, no? Who is going to do it? In a few short years, there's no more Prabhupada disciples. And it's your responsibility. And it's coming to you sooner than you think. Please think about this carefully. Anyway, it's become late. Thank you for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Yes, anything?
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for so beautifully explaining the meaning of Guru Puja with the beautiful examples of Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I just wanted, we concluded with that we have to carry on the legacy of the parampara. We have to carry on the parampara. How to make ourselves qualified to receive the mercy of parampara and then gradually distributing it?
How to receive it?
Receive and then gradually giving the mercy of parampara.
You can say in Hindi also, there's some devotees in here.
किस प्रकार से हम जो गुरु परंपरा की कृपा है उसको स्वीकार कर सकते हैं और फिर बाकियों को भी बांट सकते हैं.
Same thing we read, chapter 4, verse 34. Tadvidhi pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. How do we become qualified? First thing, pranipat, surrender. Surrender to the will of the Lord, to be the devotee He wants you to be, to go where He wants you to go, to serve as He wants you to serve. Prabhupada didn't make any conditions, and he spent his whole life contemplating the order of his Guru Maharaj. When he first met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's just getting up off the floor from offering obeisances. And Saraswati Thakur is saying, "You're an educated young man, why don't you preach the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world?" He's just getting off the floor, and he's receiving this mission from Saraswati Thakur. So we have the same mission, but we have to become qualified. And the first qualification, pranipat, you surrender. Not have any personal motivation. I have to give the class, I have to lead the kirtan, I have to be the head of everything, everyone should surrender to me. Be happy washing the floor for your guru. Prabhupada said no difference. You wash the floor, you offer the arti, same. Be willing to do anything to push on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Pranipat, pariprashna, spend time with Prabhupada's books, spend time with Prabhupada. trying to understand this beautiful philosophy, because it's not easily understood. The depth of Gaudiya Siddhanta, it's not easy to understand. Srila Jiva Goswami wrote Sat Sandarbha. Just to read one page will take you half an hour just to try and assimilate what he's telling us in his Sandarbhas. Our philosophy is as deep as the ocean. So Pariprashna, inquire and give seva. Birth after birth, give seva. Be willing to do. If we're empty, then Krishna can fill us. If you think you're full, I'm a very good devotee, I know what I'm doing, I'll do this service and nothing else, then how can Krishna use you? Be an instrument in Lord's service. Then Krishna consciousness can spread all over the world. And Prabhupada said some specific things. Distribute book, distribute book, distribute book. And with the profit of that book distribution, what did Prabhupada do? He opened temples. Our Vrindavan temple, Mayapur temple, Juhu temple. Pretty much all that money came from book distribution. And our prestige in society comes from book distribution. Then we have Shastra. We haven't concocted a philosophy. This is Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, coming through Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So we have the whole backing, the whole Parampara. But we have to be willing to be an instrument to surrender. Then we can get that mercy. So are you ready for disciples, Prabhuji? By the grace of your Guru, by the grace of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhus, Matajis. Anyone who preaches Krishna consciousness is Guru. That's another discussion. Okay?
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
So it's already late. Thank you for staying here and listening. I apologize for I should have gotten a book to go through this more carefully. I can sing the song, but to pick out the words word for word and explain it was a little difficult for me. So please excuse the sort of disjointed presentation. This will happen to you also. Your brain will become feeble with old age. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanand.
His Grace Sarvadrik Prabhu ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice, wonderful class. Tomorrow also there will be class at 8 a.m. कल सुबह भी 8 बजे श्रीमद् भागवतम का क्लास होगा. हरे कृष्ण.